What if the ultimate playbook for dealing with your toxic boss or, your road rage or even just your own worst impulses wasn't actually written by some modern behavioral psychologist?
Right.
But what if it was hidden inside this ancient text featuring giant dragons and shape-shifting titans and celestial musicians?
I mean, it sounds completely absurd on the surface, right? Like the setup to some, I don't know, high fantasy novel or a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we actually decode the symbolism here, we are looking at one of the most profound, highly technical, psychological documents in human history.
Okay, so welcome to today's deep dive. We're jumping headfirst into volume 3 of the Avatamsaka Sutra, which is this massive, famously dense, classical Buddhist scripture.
Very dense.
Extremely. But listen, if you're expecting a dry, monotone religious lecture today, you are definitely in the wrong place.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
Our mission today is to peel back all the incredibly ornate mythological layers of this text and just mine it for high-level mental frameworks.
Right, the practical stuff.
Exactly. We want to extract the actual truth that you can use the next time you feel like you're losing your mind at work or, just at home.
So to understand what this text is really doing, we kind of have to establish the baseline scene.
Okay, set the stage for us.
Right. So the source text describes this unimaginable cosmic assembly. Picture the visual here. The Buddha is in a state of profound, absolute realization. The text actually says he's radiating light from his pores, just illuminating boundless universes.
Wow, from his pores, that's quite an image.
Yeah, it's incredibly vivid. And gathered around him aren't just, a few monks sitting quietly.
Right.
We're talking about infinite classes of really intense beings, like the kings of the Nagas, which are giant serpents or dragons.
Okay.
The Asuras, who are these hyper-aggressive warrior titans. Yakshas, which are fierce predatory nature spirits. And Kumhandas, which are essentially these energy vampire ogres.
Okay, I need to stop you right there.
Yeah.
Because as I was reading through these sources, I kept hitting a wall with this.
I don't blame you.
Because if everything in the scripture is supposed to be about achieving some enlightened, peaceful state of mind,
Right.
why is it packed to the brim with literal demons and giant venomous serpents and angry spirits? How does a fantasy bestiary help anyone listening right now who is just, trying to survive a brutal Monday morning commute?
Well, that is the core paradox of the text, actually. And it's the exact key to unlocking the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But these creatures aren't fantasy monsters meant to just scare people into good behavior.
Yeah.
They're vivid, hyper-specific psychological archetypes. They represent the chaotic, really messy states of our own minds. Because think about it, thousands of years ago, the writers of this text didn't have clinical terms like hypervigilance or narcissistic rage.
Or chronic burnout, yeah.
Exactly. So they categorized human neuroses using the Asura, the Yaksha, the Naga.
So when I get a passive-aggressive email from a coworker, right?
Yeah.
And I can physically feel my face getting hot and my chest tightening, I am quite literally entering the Naga state in that moment.
You are 100% embodying the Naga.
Wow.
And what happens next at this cosmic assembly is really revolutionary. The Buddha doesn't just stand at a podium and deliver some one-size-fits-all sermon telling everyone to, just be nice.
Just breathe and be kind. Yeah.
Right. Instead, the text describes these different beings experiencing sudden, massive internal paradigm shifts.
Okay.
Which the sutra calls liberation doors.
The liberation door. Okay, I want to make sure I understand the mechanics of this. Is it like a specific realization?
It's a custom-tailored realization. So think of it less as a physical gate made of wood and iron, and more as a highly specific aha moment.
Got it.
Because every single class of being in this assembly is trapped by a completely different mental flaw.
Right, so they need different fixes.
Exactly. A hyper-aggressive titan cannot use the same psychological advice as a lethargic, energy-draining ogre.
That makes total sense.
They each require a unique psychological key, a customized mind hack, basically, to break their specific cycle of misery.
It's like the universe's ultimate group therapy session.
Yes.
But nobody is getting those annoying generic platitudes. Every archetype gets the exact shift in perspective they need.
Precisely.
So let's make this concrete. Let's start with the Nagas and the Maharagas, the dragons and the great serpents.
Good place to start.
Because bridging the gap between, a mythological serpent and a modern emotional meltdown is where this gets wildly practical.
Yeah, so in classical mythology, Nagas and Maharagas are deeply associated with heat, poison, and fierce territorial anger.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ultimate embodiment of running hot. And the text specifically states that their liberation door involves, quote, extinguishing the burning pain.
Extinguishing the burning pain.
Right, and removing the clouds of anger and foolishness.
Clouds of anger and foolishness. I mean, that is incredibly accurate.
Isn't it?
When you are furious, your IQ functionally drops. You get that brain fog, that cloud, where you can't think rationally anymore. You just want to strike.
Yeah, the physiological reality is that rage generates literal heat. Like our blood pressure spikes, our heart races.
You literally get hot-headed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Maharaja king, who is trapped in this state of constant venomous reactivity, he achieves a liberation door described in the text as, quote, making all beings remove afflictions and attain cooling joy.
Cooling joy. Wow. Think about the last time you were truly happy. Usually we picture joy as this hyped up, fiery emotion,
Our
right?
celebration.
Like winning a lottery or getting a massive promotion, your team winning a championship. It's loud, it's celebratory, it's hot.
Eerie hot.
But if your baseline is already running hot because you're burning out from constant stress, endless notifications, and frustration,
Which is all of us, basically.
throwing more fire into your system doesn't help at all. True joy for the chronically stressed isn't adding more stimulation, it's finding that cooling joy.
It completely redefines happiness for a modern, overstimulated brain.
Yeah.
You don't need another dopamine hit. You need a drop in temperature. You need the nervous system to just fundamentally stand down.
The concept sounds great, but I want to push on the mechanism here.
Okay, push away.
How do we actually achieve that cooling effect? Because if my brain is running hot and I am trapped in that angry naga state,
Yeah.
I can't just tell myself to be cool. The heat is already there. I'm already mad.
Right, telling yourself to calm down never works.
Yeah.
But the text actually provides the mechanical answer when it introduces the wind gods.
Oh, the wind gods.
Yeah, specifically there's one called the Pure Light Adornment Wind God, and he attains a door that uses a fragrant breeze to extinguish the sickness of all beings.
A fragrant breeze.
Yes, and this is the crucial part. It destroys the mountain of heavy obstacles.
A mountain of heavy obstacles. I mean, that perfectly describes the physical sensation of anxiety or like rumination.
Oh, totally.
It literally feels like a boulder is just sitting on your chest. But mechanically, how does a breeze destroy a mountain? If I'm fuming over an argument I had this morning, how do I let the wind in?
So look at the nature of a mountain. It's dense, it's fixed, it's impenetrable.
Right.
When you are ruminating, your mind becomes a mountain.
Yeah.
You are trapped in this closed cognitive loop, essentially suffocating on your own toxic exhaust.
Ooh. Suffocating on toxic exhaust.
You just keep replaying the same argument, getting madder every time.
Right.
So the wind god's realization is about the sheer power of spaciousness.
Spaciousness.
You don't destroy a mountain of mental obstacles by punching it or arguing with it.
Yeah.
You erode it by letting fresh air move through the space.
Okay, so practically speaking, opening the window means breaking that rumination loop with novel data.
Exactly.
When you feel that naga heat, you don't engage with the angry thought. You physically step outside, or you completely shift your focus to the physical sensation of your breath. You are literally bringing a wind of fresh awareness into a really claustrophobic brain.
Yeah, you stop identifying with the heat. And the moment you introduce space around the angry thought, the thought loses its density.
Wow.
The mountain becomes porous, the wind blows through it, and the temperature finally drops. That is cooling joy.
Okay, creating mental space and breathing through internal overthinking. That makes sense. I get that.
Yeah.
But let's pivot to a much harder scenario.
Yeah.
What happens when the problem isn't internal? What if the stress is like sitting in the cubicle next to you, actively trying to ruin your career?
The external threats.
Because breathing doesn't stop a bully, and the text talks about the Asuras and the Akshas, and from my reading, these entities are the ultimate toxic personalities.
Oh, absolutely. They're the embodiment of proactive external aggression.
Right.
If the Nagas are reactive heat, the Asuras and Yakshas are pure dominance, ego, and warfare.
Like corporate warfare.
Exactly. Yakshas are these fierce, predatory spirits. Asuras are warrior titans driven entirely by jealousy and an obsessive need to just be superior. In a modern context, these are your micromanagers. The cutthroat corporate climbers. The people who thrive on zero-sum office politics.
Okay, so how on earth does an ancient scripture handle the ultimate Machiavellian boss?
Well, the ancient wisdom here completely flips our modern intuition on its head.
How so?
The text details the liberation door for the Yaksha king.
Oh.
This terrifying predator, right?
Yeah.
His customized realization is using, quote, boundless expedient means to save and protect evil beings.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Protect an evil being.
That's what it says.
If I have a legitimately abusive coworker who is trying to get me fired, you're telling me this ancient wisdom says my ultimate move is to protect them.
I know, it sounds crazy.
That sounds like a recipe for becoming a complete doormat. In the real world, that gets you crushed.
It sounds like surrender until you understand what protection actually means in this specific framework.
Okay, explain that.
Destroying an aggressive person, like fighting them on their own terms, requires you to step into the mud with them. You become a predator to fight a predator.
Right, you stoop to their level.
Exactly. But the Yaksha realizes that true strength isn't predation, it's containment.
Containment. Okay, give me an example of what that looks like in real life.
So think about a toddler having a massive violent tantrum.
Oh, yeah, been there.
Right. If a toddler is hitting you, you don't punch the toddler to assert dominance.
I would hope not.
You catch their wrists. You hold them firmly to protect them from hurting you, from breaking things, and from hurting themselves.
Ah.
You neutralize the threat without adopting their aggression.
That is such a good analogy.
So when you are dealing with a deeply toxic coworker, they're basically throwing an emotional tantrum.
Right.
You build ironclad professional boundaries to protect the project, to protect your sanity, and ironically, to protect them from generating more damage.
Wow. You neutralize them without absorbing their heat. You don't out-toxic the toxic person.
Exactly, which leads directly into the realization of the Asura King.
The warrior titan.
Right. His entire identity is built on fighting for supremacy. But his liberation door is realizing how to appear as the supreme lord of the assembly without causing fear.
Without causing fear. That is, we are so conditioned to think that power and fear are the exact same thing.
Especially in business, yeah.
Right. The classic toxic boss walks into a room, everyone goes dead silent, people are terrified of making a mistake, and the boss thinks, you know, look at how powerful I am.
But the sutra categorizes that fear-based leadership as deep psychological weakness.
Weakness.
Yes, it's an illusion of power that requires constant warfare to maintain. The text teaches that true power, the kind of unshakable power the Asura King ultimately realizes, doesn't come from dominating a room by being the loudest or the most threatening voice.
Right.
It comes from achieving absolute inner stability. He gathers what the text calls indestructible good roots.
Indestructible good roots. So when a truly powerful leader walks into a room, the room doesn't feel terrified. It feels incredibly focused and profoundly safe. That is the actual boss move. So tomorrow morning, when someone throws you under the bus in an email thread, and your inner Asura wakes up wanting to rage reply and CC their manager just to induce panic.
Which is always tempting.
Very tempting. But the text is telling you to pause.
You observe that urge to go to war, and you choose the liberation door of the Kumpanda King instead.
The energy vampires.
Right, those ogres we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
The Kumpanda King attains the door of extinguishing all enmity and harmful forces.
Extinguishing enmity. So you look at the person attacking you, and you realize their aggression is just a symptom of their own suffering.
Yep.
They are burning alive from their own internal naga. They're choking on their own clouds of anger and foolishness.
Exactly. And when you view their toxicity as a profound psychological sickness rather than a personal insult, you stop being a combatant.
You step out of the ring.
You step into the space of the wind god, you let the breeze blow away the heavy air of the conflict, and you hold your ground without needing to cause fear.
But okay, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Because if my entire life becomes this endless process of putting out the fire of my internal naga and setting up boundaries to contain the yakshas at work and trying to be an Asura who rules without fear, am I just playing a psychological whack-a-mole all day?
It sounds like a lot of work.
It sounds exhausting, just constantly managing all these archetypes.
It is exhausting if you stay on the battlefield.
Okay.
And that is exactly why the text introduces a completely different viewpoint near the end of the volume. It introduces the ultimate observers, the day gods and the night gods.
I was really hoping we would get to them because
yeah.
they represent a massive shift in how we interact with the world.
They do. They provide the synthesis for everything we've talked about today.
Right.
The day and night gods achieve their liberation by observing the different karma of all beings and providing peace and fearlessness. Think about what that requires.
It requires stepping entirely out of the drama.
It is the absolute highest evolution of empathy. The day and night gods witness the entire cosmic assembly. They see the Nagas burning with rage, the Asuras fighting for ego, the Yakshas preying on the weak.
They see it all.
But they do not react. They observe the karma, the relentless cycles of action and suffering, and their only response is to provide an environment of peace and fearlessness.
The profound takeaway here is that everyone around you, the person laying on their horn in traffic, the micromanager breathing down your neck, and even your own reflection in the mirror.
Especially your own reflection.
Right. Everyone is secretly wrestling with their own inner monsters. We're all just attending this cosmic assembly, desperately trying to find our specific door out of the burning room.
And once you truly internalize that, your default response to the world fundamentally changes. Defensiveness just drops away.
You stop taking it personally.
Exactly. You realize that most people are fighting a brutal internal battle, and the greatest gift you can offer them is a moment of fearlessness. You become the space where they don't have to fight.
Providing fearlessness. That is just a radically beautiful way to operate in a chaotic world.
It really is.
We started with giant dragons and titans, and it turns out this sutra is basically the ultimate software update for the human mind.
A software update, I love that.
Because our emotional hardware will constantly generate these states, right? We will feel the heat, the jealousy, the crushing weight of overthinking, but we always have the capacity to open a liberation door at any given second.
The text insists that the exit is always available. Always. The mechanisms, the wind, the cooling joy, the unshakable stability, they're all built into our consciousness.
Which brings up the final lingering doubt for me.
What's that?
I hear all of this, and part of me thinks, this is incredible wisdom, but I have decades of baggage.
Oh, sure.
My inner Asura is incredibly well fed. My internal Naga has been running hot for 20 years. It is going to take me a lifetime of intensive therapy and endless meditation to fix myself.
Well, the writers of the sutra anticipated that exact fear.
Did they?
Oh, absolutely. The human mind is conditioned to believe that deep healing has to be this grueling, linear trudge up a very steep mountain.
Right, that it has to take forever.
But the sutra shatters that assumption entirely.
There's a line near the end of the text that completely blew my mind when I read it.
I think I know the one.
It states that the Buddha's power, this state of ultimate clarity, can reveal, quote, hundreds of thousands of eons in a single moment.
Hundreds of thousands of eons collapsed into a single moment. It bypasses the entire concept of time.
It completely suggests that liberation isn't some destination at the end of a 10-year self-improvement plan.
No, not at all.
Which leaves you with an incredible, provocative question to mull over today.
What is it?
What if the profound peace, that cooling joy you have been exhausted trying to find, doesn't require you to endlessly fix your broken parts over a lifetime?
Wow.
What if the extinguishing of the burning pain and the clearing of those heavy obstacles is actually just a single shift in perspective? A single door standing right in front of you, waiting to be opened by you right now.